So believe me, this is unlike any trike that you've seen. Check this out.
This is actually a feature.
Oh boy!
Oh no, it's a race!
All right, today we are checking out this. What are you guys calling this?
The Nargo Trike.
First, we're going to talk about all the components, all the unique things. It's made here in the United States, and then I think you're gonna let me ride it.
Absolutely.
And I want to be ridden in it just to see what the experience is. Let's check it out. All right, I am with the co-founder of Nargo. We've featured them before. And Zach, why don't you tell me what we're looking at here?
So we're looking at the Nargo Trike here. Earlier this year, we had a retirement home come to us with a need for a bike that could carry 2 passengers up front and a volunteer in the back. The idea is that they have a resident, a caretaker, and then a volunteer that could show up a couple times a week, get people out of the center, and really enjoy the infrastructure we have here in Bentonville.
So the interesting thing about this is all the customizations. So Nargo is based here in Bentonville, Arkansas, and this bike is made from what they call a donor bike.
That's right.
And then they weld all the pieces together to make what you're looking at. Do you have, like, are you gonna call it the Nargo? Yeah.
I mean, I would take submissions.
Okay, all right, submissions for what this should be called. Is it a rickshaw? Is it just a trike?
We got Tricad, that was one of them, instead of a pedicab, like a tricab.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section what ideas you have for a better name. So believe me, this is unlike any trike that you've seen. Check this out. Quick release.
Yeah, you can stand on it. You could ride a wheelchair up on it if the seat wasn't there. And we want it to be multi-purpose. So we've got only 4 bolts holding this piece in. You can take that out, and then it is accessible to wheelchair users.
So this is a near final prototype. So there'll be tie-down straps for those who want to be locked in with a wheelchair. It will be very safe. One thing I thought was cool was you saw him jump on this, but check this out, wheels down here, and then obviously this gives it additional stability. And there's already talk about a company starting a pedicab business, which I thought was awesome. Perfect spot for branding in the front. Enough about what I think though. Why don't you walk us through some of the other unique features that we have here?
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, you don't have forks on these. So you've got your cantilever axles, which is pretty cool. It's got a disc brake on both sides, actuated by a single lever. So that is pretty awesome. Tektro came out with a really great solution for that. It includes a parking brake. So right now the parking brake's on, but I'll squeeze it a little bit, disengage it, parking brake's off. So that's just a really nice, easy feature for anybody to use.
And here's the rear, and every single brake on this bike is 203 millimeters. They didn't mess around with stopping power, especially when you're gonna have precious cargo up front.
But we also, you gotta have a bell out here on the trails. Our standard e-bike controller, and right now this currently has 2 48 volt 16 amp hour batteries that would total 32 amp hours. And we have an upgrade that we're going to do to this to be 52 volts, which will upgrade that rear motor to be an 1100 watt base. And it only goes 12 miles an hour, so it's really good for getting up hard hills when it's fully loaded.
Another cool thing, as we step behind here, we have seat belts, actual seat belts for safety, so your customer can be locked in.
That's right. Yeah, of course, this is a prototype, and when I was rushing to get it done, I forgot to bolt on a part here, but that's what's hanging here. So this is kind of a guide. And then you have 2 seat belts up front that are 3-point harnesses, basically, That's really nice for when you're coming to a stop. If you're having to come to an abrupt stop, you want that shoulder secured. But then you have this. Back to this, you can hold on to this. And that's very helpful for the riders to feel safe.
You went with the right-hand twist grip throttle. I'm very happy to see that. And then you have Shimano's 7-speed trigger shifter here, more BMX style handlebars, kind of bring them to you for a more upright riding position. We got Nargo's badge here, of course, tons of capacity. That's going to be important for the extra weight, and then yeah, a massive controller. They're including a suspension seat post from SR Sun Tour. That's going to increase comfort for the person riding the bike. All right, we need to see the steering linkages because this is something super unique, not only that they did with this bike, but also the traditional Nargo cargo electric bikes that they sell.
All right, so I'm gonna stand it up. This is actually a feature. So for storage reasons and for working on the bike, this is a wonderful part of the bike. So you stand it up, it touches those two front points, and then you tip it up, and now you see the underside of the bike, and the steering linkages that you're talking about are right here. You can see how it works. So they cross the paths of each other. Right now, this one doesn't have anything stopping it from hitting the body, but we'll actually have that on these next week. So it will stop it from going that far. And then I talked about the brakes being fed off of one. You can see the right here, yeah. And then it's a prototype, so the wiring is kind of sloppy, but yeah.
Some cable management in the production model.
Did that freak you out when I did that?
I was super cool. I'm surprised you can do that. Storage wise, there's definitely some ability to put some storage underneath the seat if this is the way you're using it, but also a rear rack. You can mount some pannier bags. That's gonna be great if you're the person actually doing the pedaling. Having some storage on there is gonna be super handy.
So right now the bike has a 48-volt system on it, which makes the gearless hub a 750 watt base with a 1300 watt peak. When you upgrade to the 52 volt batteries, this becomes an 1100 watt with probably about a 1500 watt peak.
So gearless, also known as a direct drive motor. They're super silent, as you'll see here in a second. And then we're using the Schwalbe.
Yeah, you know, I love Schwalbe. I think they do a great job. The balloon tires are awesome for commuting. It's got a nice reflective sidewall for commuting. And that's nice whenever a car's headlight hits it, you know.
And then Shimano Altus derailleur.
The Shimano Altus derailleur is one that we love because it's super affordable and highly capable of handling thousands of miles.
Yeah. And then this, like their other bikes, if you decide to order it, which you can get in contact with them using the link down in the description, you can completely customize this to the exact color that you want, just like the previous bikes. So many ways to customize it and make it your own. Bottle cage bosses all around here, so you can pack tons of beverages if you want.
So one of the cool things about making and being a bike designer is that we can make it look however we want. So I decided to copy some lines off of classic cars that had the open wheel concept with the fenders and give it that retro vibe. And people love the shiny seat. It might not show up in the video, but boy, it really catches the sun.
We've been having plenty of people stop and look for a reason. All right, I think with that, we've checked out the trike. I think it's time to go for a ride. I am going to strap on my seatbelt here. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see what the people think.
All right, taking off. So we did cap the speed limit on this to be 14 miles an hour. There's no sense in going faster than that, especially you get into a turn with a few people up front and they're getting whipped around the corner. It's just not a good experience.
This feels great. Like we are on a paved path by this river here, and this just feels like the perfect use case really for this bike.
It is kind of picturesque here, isn't it?
And you said you did some hill climb testing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So we've got here in Bentonville, we've got an area of the trail called the flyover. It takes you from the lower part of the Greenway Trail to the upper part. And that is a pretty tough climb no matter what kind of bike you're on. So I loaded it up with a ton of pallets. It totaled about 600 pounds and headed up that hill. And we made it up. Battery was helping out. And yeah, it made it up just fine, but it definitely got us to want to put a 52 volt battery system on the back.
You're using pedal assist. It is a cadence sensor, so as long as you're spinning your legs, you're going to get power from the motor. What pedal assist are you using?
The pedal assist mode I'm using right now?
Yeah.
I'm in 1, but I'm kind of using the throttle to kind of gauge a little bit. This twist throttle you recommended sure is nice.
Yeah, the twist throttle is the way to go. We didn't even talk about price. Zach, let's walk through what pricing is going to be for a base model if people want to pick this up.
The base model is going to be $9,500, and that is going to allow you to really build a business model for what you want or a use case for what you want on top of it. And then we can help customize it from there. But the base price is going to be $9,500.
Yeah. And the original kind of genesis of the idea was people who are maybe in a wheelchair, maybe not able to access a path such as this,
right?
That their caregiver, they can just roll right up here, be locked in, and go for a bike ride. So nursing homes, long-term care facilities, anything like that is going to be, I feel like, a perfect use case for something like this. And at some point, I'd like to do like a little donut. I want to show off how this thing turns. I mean, obviously not going to turn as on a dime like a bike would, but I was actually surprised.
We're going to turn here.
All right, here we go, off-roading.
Yeah, I'm not at a full turn radius. All right, now let's do the tight turn. We'll clear that tree, no problem.
There we go. Not bad at all.
Yeah, off-road pretty good.
It feels surprisingly smooth in this nice cushy seat that I heard someone nicely upholstered.
Yeah. We wanted people to feel like royalty up front.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we've said this enough times on the video, but we are making these here in Bentonville along with our other models. We have 3 models on our website, and we've got 4 and 5 on the way. So keep tuned, please.
All right. I think it's time for me to ride you and get a full experience here. All right. Well, it's nice that I don't have to worry about balance. It's a good thing that Zach is putting a seatbelt on. You just never know. All right. My recommendation on trikes is just use the throttle to get started. We're pulling just like 500 watts there. All right. And you probably want to prioritize the front brakes first because you have twice as much stopping power, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just going to use a throttle here. A little uneven and still felt really nice. The biggest thing with trikes is the easiest way to picture it is if you're riding on like a sidewalk that's angled, the trikes tend to want to throw you off a little bit. And throttle up this little hill. Wow. For a direct drive motor, I'm so impressed that it can, this is a big bike.
You know, we custom designed that motor to haul cargo. It's not just an off-the-shelf hub motor.
Yeah.
It looks like it. A lot of those shells are the same, but inside of it is proprietary to Nargo.
All right, now I'm cruising at 8 miles an hour. I'm going to kick up the pedal assist a little bit. All right, here we go. And we're going to get closer to that 12 mile an hour. Really, you just want to cruise.
Yeah.
We're going 9, 10, and yeah, right around 10 miles an hour I think is where I personally feel comfortable, especially managing this turn here. Still feel good up there?
Actually, I feel like I could take the corner faster because of the shoulder support. Yeah.
What do you think the range is on something like this?
Well, yesterday I put 20 miles on it with passengers, and it got down to 60% battery. So not quite sure yet, but I think that it's got a bit of range. I think we're looking at probably 30 to 40 miles.
30 to 40 miles, wow, yeah. And then it's nice with the dual batteries, even if you don't need that much capacity, just to not have to charge it up as much if you're going on a bunch of short trips. All right, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Zach for designing this, making it here in the United States. I am very curious to see how many people adopt a rickshaw business. People who want to take their residents out for a ride. I think it's awesome. You can check it out at nargobikeco.com. Give them a call. Zach or one of his friendly employees would be happy to chat with you about picking one of these up for 2025. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.